Hey guys, it's Lex Roche
and Courtney Noir,
and you are listening to another episode of The Pleasure's All Yours.
We are a podcast all about the sexual liberation of the Black and queer communities.
We really wanted to create a space for us to talk, laugh, kiki, and really emphasize how the pleasure is.
It's all yours.
So with Womanly, do you order a physical copy or is it like an online zine?
You could. It's this one's a physical copy. So the issues before this, they were doing digital. So this is them going back to print.
Okay.
They're working with a new publisher.
That's exciting.
And so, the copy looks beautiful.
You get to hold your work.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna frame it.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely gonna frame it.
That's
and I
fine.
was like, I was super passionate that they was willing to take a risk on this topic too.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's a body image issue.
Future is fat.
The future is fat. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So we work
The
with
past was fat too.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Basically
Bitches been fat. Okay.
Yeah. And so I was glad too. We got to put some money in individual artists. Everybody got paid who was a part of it. And so that's where we really put most of the money to, and then getting the prints out, and the rest of it was like sponsorships.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
If you are tuning in to us, welcome to The Pleasure's All Yours.
What up?
As you can see, we have a guest today. I'm Courtney Noir.
And I'm Lex Roche.
And our guest,
Robyn Adams.
Hey, what's up, Robyn? If you have been tuned in for a while to The Pleasure's All Yours, Robyn was actually on an episode probably like 2 years ago now, like our first year of doing
When
this.
we were still on the couch, girl.
Yeah.
Still on that yellow couch.
Money up.
Yes. Robyn, just give us like a really brief introduction. Give us your pronouns and like what you do on the day to day.
Okay. So my pronouns are they, them. Full time, what pays the bills is I'm an assistant professor at Texas Tech University.
Recum Tech.
But I also work within the reproductive health and sexual health space. Really anything that's community, anything that's Black, queer, reproductive health is all me. And so if that means setting up chairs at the local event to interviewing, doing focus groups. Right now I've been doing a series of focus groups about Black women in a gender expansive form and their ideas about sexual health, and also Black folks living with HIV and their experiences with accessing reproductive health care. And so anything related to that topic, I'm here and present.
I love it.
Yeah, we love that. Absolutely. It's kind of what we're going to be talking about today, a little bit about Black women and health in general and how that impacts our sexuality.
Yeah.
But first, we always start every episode with a pleasure moment. And a pleasure moment is basically any experience that you had over the last week that brought you a lot of joy, peaceful feelings. It can be as small as buying a cup of coffee or as big as moving to another country. Lex, what was your pleasure moment?
I think first thing that came to mind was, I saw some post on Instagram, and I've been saying like, oh, I want to like get more into listening to house music, but like it's so hard to find like artists that are actually good and not just like putting shit together. And so that was like a mission of mine this week. And so I saw a post that had a song on it, and so I went and listened to that song, and I was like, oh, this is great. And so then I just started a radio, and now I have a whole playlist going called Bringing Down the House.
Love that.
With like all the like really, really good songs that I come across. And like some of them are like, I don't know, I like when you can tell when a Black person made something.
Oh, yeah.
And so a lot of them I'm like, oh, a nigga made this. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
I have had a hard time finding new music that I really want to listen to. I mean, Dochi's album was
So
great.
good.
It was great.
Fire.
So
Woke up
good.
listening to that this morning at 8 a.m. and it really just energized me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that. Maybe I'll ask for the playlist.
Yeah,
so I can listen to
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, I was literally on my way to the car, like here in the car, and I was like, this shit is, like, it makes my brain itch in like a good way.
Oh, it gives you a little eargasm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Reference back.
Come on, call
Come
back.
on,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go listen to our episode, How to Have an Eargasm, episode 100. Wow, that was our 100th episode.
That was.
Robyn, what was your pleasure moment this week?
Being off on Monday.
Oh, okay. That's like the best
and
way.
eating
to
some
start the week.
food, not having to get up and go to work. That was nice. And so I would say that was pleasure. Like, pleasure is self-care.
Yeah.
And so I feel like not having to do anything. I got some daiquiris from the DAC shop.
Perfect Labor Day.
So I was lit, had me a little barbecue from a Black-owned spot.
Perfect.
And so, watched a little of Deliverance.
A little bit. Okay, I love that because you said a
that's
little
the
bit.
movie.
A little bit.
Tell me why
Yeah.
you didn't get through the whole thing. Which Deliverance is a movie on Netflix. Is it directed by
What's her name?
Lee
Lee
Daniels?
Daniels?
Yeah,
I was so
he
confused.
gonna pay for his crimes.
I was so confused. I'm like, okay. It was a lot of moments where like I found myself in and out of sleep, and all I
Okay.
heard was screaming and just like wild comments. And then I'm trying to figure out why Glenn Close was a black woman when the story was about a black family and a black grandmother. But that's a whole nother.
Because she was doing a
Topic.
sew-in. I was like, isn't this... Wait a minute.
So did you watch it?
No, I've just seen a lot of clips of it. And, like, I was thinking about watching it, but after seeing that fucking clip where she's like, I can smell your nappy pussy. I was like, bitch, I am not fucking watching
Right,
this.
right, yeah.
You
Absolutely
had
not.
me, you had me intrigued when that little black boy jumped up and he's like
Climbing
crawled-
against the wall.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
in it. I was like, oh, bitch, this is gonna be good. And then I saw this bitch looking like fucking Dobie from fucking Harry Potter, whatever the fuck. Looking like that little gremlin nigga
bad.
talking about I can smell your nappy pussy, bitch.
I'm like, yeah, it was given a little bit anti-black.
Which is crazy. Well, not crazy because Lee Daniels did direct The Butler along with his bestie Oprah Winfrey. So that does tell you what you need to know.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, I have not finished it.
Okay. So you're not gonna recommend it to the public, or like, is this one of those hate watches?
It's one of those hate watches. It's like
we should
definitely
just get drunk and
yeah.
watch
If you have a
it.
DAC, you got
Yeah.
some weed.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It's gonna be a comedy.
Okay.
It's gonna be a comedy. It's comedy.
It is Saturday.
Yeah. It's given a little like he was trying to go for like a real campy
Okay.
type of vibe,
Okay.
but it was a miss.
But then I heard. But then like there's a news article circling of the woman who lived in the actual
I
house.
know, it's
Yeah.
a true story.
It's a very
Yeah.
true story. Yeah, I was
I'm
watching
like-
the cops talk about it too, which is Gary, Indiana. So there's a few black cops, and that cop was like, I wasn't going in that house.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's against my religious beliefs to help these
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Lee Daniels says that we all know that white woman, that type of white woman in our community.
Not me.
I'm sorry, I've
Yeah.
never met
I
that
haven't
kind
either.
of white black
And as
grandmother.
soon as I meet one, I'm always side eyeing her because
Yeah.
Something not right.
Who taught you this?
that's a little strange.
Yeah.
Okay, so your pleasure moment this week was enjoying your Labor Day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. I think my pleasure moment this week was helping my family. I went to my parents' like small business that they have, and we just kind of did like a family day at the shop, and we recorded content, and my dog was there, and we cleaned up, and like we kind of made a plan for like our fall and everything, and it surprisingly made me feel really good. I was like,
Okay.
wow, we're really doing this together. And I love seeing how my parents interact with each other on those like really good days, because it reminds me that I really do have a great mirror example for like a long-term loving relationship between two people.
That's dope.
So yeah, that was definitely my pleasure moment.
I love that. I also would like to add to my pleasure moment. We had a sleepover and we
Hey.
fucking finished. Well, we didn't finish. We didn't watch the last episode. And apparently,
No, we did.
We didn't finish it.
No, we didn't. We fell asleep.
Yeah, and apparently that is heartache. Like I saw a meme about it today on TikTok. Is the last episode is fucking crazy.
Maybe that's why I didn't understand those memes, because I'm like, this didn't happen. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So we watched Interview with a Vampire and we drank
Okay,
wine
okay.
and
We practiced a little shibari.
Yeah,
And
we
by
did.
practice, I mean Lex
Hey.
taught me how to like bind wrists and ankles, and I just like practiced
Okay, that's
doing
dope.
that.
That's
super
That's
easy,
dope.
super simple, super easy night.
It was
But
fun.
that was fun.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Interview with a Vampire, man. That's.
That is a gay
seen
chaos
it.
ass show.
I will say the first
watch it.
season. The
Okay,
first
okay.
season is amazing. Like,
Okay.
like since we've watched the second season, I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. But first season was so good, and there are so many memes about Louis Dupont Dulac and Lestat. Oh my God, I was like, I'm gonna go watch the first season
Okay.
again this
It is
weekend.
very
Okay, I'm gonna
'cause
watch
it
it.
was so
Yeah,
watch it.
good.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I do like vampires.
me. Oh,
Something about them. I
Yeah.
think that's also a queer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like vampires are very just naturally queer. They have so much life to live, so of course they're gonna be fucking gay.
straight
Like,
Right.
at
vampires
some-
is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it
like I
is,
know
it
Edward
is.
he sucked dick at some point in his 120 years
They're
of life.
him and Bella are probably swingers now.
Oh,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah,
Emily and Rosalie?
yeah.
Are you a Twilight fan?
I am.
Okay.
I binge Twilight every year along with Harry Potter. Bella
Multiple
definitely
times.
gives non-binary.
Yes.
tease.
100%.
So you know,
Absolutely.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I think that the movies are perfect timing. I actually don't think the wigs look that bad if we're really looking at them.
Where? When?
Okay, look.
In which one?
Look.
Harry Potter?
Let me give you Twilight. Let me give you
Twilight.
an example.
Oh, yeah,
Twilight wigs, Tyler Perry wigs.
Okay.
Who's eating? Who's eating?
Okay.
Who's eating?
Okay.
Who's
I see
eating?
your point.
Beyond. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Because Alice in that pixie cut was doing it. Okay, I don't give a
Well,
fuck.
they said like a Chrysler 300 don't look like a Phantom when a Phantom pulls up.
Okay.
What are you, Team Jacob or Team Edward?
I'm Team Edward. I hate to be ridiculous, but Jacob was giving a little like, nigga, you wanted too much. Yeah.
Yo,
Boy, he was giving. He was giving.
Yeah,
boy
Robyn,
puppy dog
Robyn,
energy.
I want to let you know. Anytime we talk about this on the podcast, anytime I talk about this with anyone, I'm like, like he is a little bitch boy.
Yeah,
and that
he
is
is.
why I can't deal with him. I don't
was
give a
annoying.
fuck. I don't give a fuck how sexy he is, bro. She is heartbroken. Her nigga just left her. She is heartbroken, and you over here trying to hold her hand. And you trying to beat up her friend at the movies. Like, what
That's
the
crazy.
fuck? Sit your ass down
No,
somewhere.
for real. No,
He was
yeah.
literally going through puberty. Guys.
I don't give
Can
a
you tell me we
fuck.
talk
He
about
was
that?
doing
What about
too
all the
much.
other times?
He was doing too much. He was doing too much.
What about all the other times? What about
Yeah.
the first movie?
You in that bike?
Please.
Get on that. Yeah.
I have great news, Lex.
What's the news?
I have a fun fact.
Yes.
And it's super fun.
Okay,
This is a
okay,
great
okay,
fun
okay.
fact. Okay.
Perfect.
Have y'all heard of DoxyPep?
Doxy.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
I would
is
love
that like prep for? Is that like okay? Sorry, go ahead. You're gonna tell me what.
I
it is.
am, but yeah, I mean, essentially, I think you're on the right track. Yeah, it's basically like a morning after pill for like STIs. So like instead of
okay,
it,
yeah.
like just like PrEP is for HIV, like well, that one's more of a like a continuous thing. So you take PrEP regardless of like whether you're having sex that night or whatever. Like it's
Yeah.
just like a birth control pill. You take it every day. But for DoxyPep, this is a morning after pill. So it involves taking the antibiotic doxycycline after sex to prevent sexually transmitted infections from like
Okay.
getting in the body.
Love that.
It's effective against chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. And it works when you take it within 72 hours, but they recommend you take it obviously within 24 so that it's most effective, just like the morning after pill.
Okay.
It's obviously for condomless sex. I mean, I personally, I would take it even if you're having sex with a condom on.
Yeah.
Because like you can get it in your mouth.
You can get it in your mouth.
like,
Yes.
What?
Absolutely. And it reduces the risk of these infections up to 2/3.
Ooh.
So that's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
pretty good odds. It's most effective, like I said, when taken within the 24 hours, and it has minimal side effects. And it's relatively inexpensive and covered by your insurance.
Hey.
Doxycycline is very inexpensive as far as antibiotics. And fun fact, doxycycline can actually help with HS.
Oh.
It helps with styes in your eye. It helps with certain throat infections. Like literally, doxycycline is like penicillin. It really helps with everything. So minimal side effects. I think if you take it with some food, you'll be good. Usually when I take doxy for something, it makes my tummy hurt a little bit, but like that's pretty much it. This is available for everyone, regardless of sex or sexual orientation. I know some forms of PrEP, like they will really only prescribe to gay men.
Yeah. The commercials say that even at the end, like it's like a warning, not recommended for anyone assigned female at birth or
Yes,
whatever.
correct. But this one, anybody can take it. So you can call your doctor and they can prescribe it. You can go to a health clinic. They can prescribe it for you. And then you can do it online as well. So like if you don't have access to like healthcare like that, but you do have access to the internet and you have a place to send it to, then you can get on with like a telehealth physician and they can prescribe it for you.
Love that.
Yeah. So if you're out there getting freaky fucky, for Freaky Fall,
Yeah. Oh, come on now.
get you some DoxyPep.
Yeah. It just emphasizes again, we love sluts, okay?
Yes, we love sluts and we love
Be
safe.
safe.
We love
Yes.
safe sluts.
Come on now.
Yes. Okay, so pleasure principle. Speaking of health, I would love to talk to you, Robyn, today about the impact that chronic conditions have on your sexuality. Now, this topic came up for me like a few months ago. I think you had tweeted something like talking about your experience with HS, which is also known as Hidradenitis Suppurativa.
You ate that because I still can't say it.
15 years of my life, I've been learning how to say this word, literally. And it was so like such a relief to see you tweet about it, because I had never met anybody personally that was also around my same age that had this condition.
Right.
And so that's really why you're here today.
Period.
First, I want to.
That's it. That's
That's all. Period. We can all go home, actually. I want to inform our audience or people that don't know exactly what HS is, like what it does to the body. So it's an autoimmune disorder that affects the skin. When you look it up, people will say like the Mayo Clinic describes it as a skin condition. But I think over my time of experiencing HS, I would definitely call it an autoimmune disorder, and
Absolutely.
my dermatologist actually described it to me like that too. So it causes inflammation in certain areas of the body, and it's typically the parts that like rub together. They have a lot of hair, or they experience regular trauma like body hair removal, or like fabric running against it. So like usually it's in the armpits, under the breast, in the groin, in the butt cheeks sometimes. It's like the worst. But Robyn, if you don't mind sharing, what has your experience been with HS?
Well, you know, one, I love the fact that you called it an autoimmune, and how it's in that category, because a lot of people don't know that HS also has comorbidities with CPTSD. And so a lot of folks who do have HS have experienced some type of form of complex post-traumatic stress disorder over their childhood. And it just shows the ways that sometimes your body can still hold a lot of trauma in its response to it, which is very similar to psoriasis. A lot of people who have psoriasis also have a comorbidity with other mental health diagnoses. And so my experience, you know, I was diagnosed with it officially when I was 25, and so about 5 years ago, but I've been showing symptoms since I was 17. And it was traumatic. You know, when my mom saw that I had the scars, you know, the first assumption is you're not cleaning yourself well. And I spent a lot of years, you know, every month on a different type of antibiotic, which then it becomes resistance to. And then you have partners who may not understand it. I'm someone who experiences HS in a lot of sensitive areas, on my buttocks, in my groin, under my underarms. And so even learning how to manage it for myself, and it was difficult. YouTube was my friend, and being able to see, you know, other Black women who had the illness and figuring out how I wanted to self-manage, I've been able to kind of wean myself off of antibiotics by having other alternative forms of care that I would love to talk about.
Yes.
But, you know, with any chronic illness, it's something that you live with, I think, every day. I have it as one of my disabilities for my job. And so for certain things, like when I travel, I make sure I have 2 beds, because there is a possibility that I can have an active boil. Sometimes that happens during times of stress, like travel.
Yeah.
And so if I have an accident on my sheets, just like if I was on my menstrual cycle, I want to have the extra option to have another bed. And so these are just some of the things that I've been able to find adjustments and advocating for my own adjustments when I'm traveling or accommodations.
Wow, I never even thought to list that as a disability. When I tell you, I'm about to go do that, because actually, you know, I
saw the light bulb go off.
No, for real.
Yeah.
So
She
I
said,
traveled
"Hold
for
up."
work, and I had this issue where like I had to get on a meeting or something, and I had an extremely like active boil. Like it was so bad I couldn't walk, and I had to schedule an appointment with my derm. But before I did that, I had to message my boss and be like, "Hey, I really can't make this extremely important meeting because I have to get this done." Like and he was, of course, like he was very understanding. But then he came back the next day and was like, "Hey, just so you know, if any of this happens, like before you go on a trip or anything, like just let us know so we can like log it and make sure But like making sure it's recorded as a disability puts me in a better position with my boss to say like, hey, this is listed as an issue that I have, and like it's not an excuse, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Wow. What does that get you as far as like?
I think being okay with the fact that, like, yes, I'm living with a disability. And, you know, like, people have their own understandings of disabilities, and sometimes people feel like it has to be visible for them to provide accommodations for
Especially
you.
them Karens.
Exactly. And so for me, I want it documented, because what if I need to take a week off?
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes
and so
it really can be that bad.
it
Like,
can be that painful.
It fucks with your mind.
Mental, emotional.
I think, like, I broke down so much. So I'm on Accutane.
Okay.
And I've been on Accutane since January. Before that, I was on spironolactone for the longest. So I guess let me tell you my HS experience before I like jump into all this shit. So I have been experiencing HS symptoms since I was probably like 13, which for a lot of people, it's exasperated by like your hormones. So puberty is when a lot of Black women first start experiencing the symptoms of HS. And actually Black women are 3 times more likely to have HS than any other race. It affects women more, but it also affects Black people more. So Black women, we're at the bottom of the barrel there. But yeah, when I got diagnosed, I think I officially was diagnosed at like 17. And I had these symptoms for 5 years. And like you were saying, when you tell your mom you're experiencing this, the first thing my mom was like is, oh, it's probably an ingrown hair.
Right.
So like you need to start shaving that area.
Right.
Girl, shaving made it so much worse. Like that in high school probably was the reason I was experiencing as many flare-ups as I was experiencing. So like I couldn't go to gym class, like I couldn't run.
Right.
I was afraid to like change in front of people. Like you were saying, like they leak.
Yep.
And it's really, sometimes it can smell.
Yeah,
like
older,
it is really such an embarrassing condition. And like as excited as I am to talk about it on camera, I'm like, oh God. Yeah, I forgot these things were happening. But when I went to see my dermatologist for the first time, she also thought it was ingrowns, or she thought it was like just like clogged up pores and stuff. So she did prescribe me doxycycline. She prescribed me spironolactone, which I think the spironolactone helped a lot. I don't know if you've ever tried that. It's less of an antibiotic as it is like it's not a steroid either, but it basically just like keeps all those ducts on your body kind of clear so that it can't build up an infection and cause these issues. But anyway, before I was diagnosed, I was like looking stuff up online, and back in 2012, there really just was not a lot of info.
Yeah.
You got like one article on Mayo Clinic that had like a little bit of information as to what it could be, but like even my doctor was like, girl, I just don't know. I've had to have like drainage at the doctor's office.
So painful.
So it is so traumatic, and I still have the scars, and like every time I look at that, I'm reminded of how traumatic that shit was. Like I've never experienced that kind of pain, and I wish I never have to experience it again, but the likelihood of it happening is pretty big. Right. So these chronic conditions also come with depression, obviously, because when you can't experience life the way you want to experience it, you can't wear a tank top in the summer because you have active boils, or you can't go swimming because it might cause boils with the wetness against your swimsuit, like small things like that.
Scared about your pants leaking through your clothes.
Absolutely. Scared of explaining to your sexual partners, which we'll get into this as a whole separate thing, but explaining to them that it's not an STD or like anything that they can catch. Right. And then from what I've done some research on, it also is a symptom of like other inflammatory diseases. So like if you have arthritis, IBS, diabetes.
I got IBS.
Really?
Eczema, cystic acne has always also a commonality.
Inflammation.
Yeah.
Huh. So what do you do? Like, let's say you have an active situation. Like, what is your process for that? Do you call your doctor immediately? Do you try to do some at-home stuff?
At-home stuff, it depends on how bad it is. I mean, one, if I'm around anyone, I'll tell them, like, hey, I have an active boil right now, because it's affecting you mentally. Like, I'm like, I don't even want to be touched because I'm also dealing with the discomfort in my body still. I'll try a lot of warm compressants. Like a heating pad is my friend. Like sometimes when I get the boils on my butt, sometimes I'll just sit in warm water or on a heating pad. I'll also try tea tree oil. It's really good. And I actually learned that from a nose piercer. They'll advocate for that whenever time there's like a nose infection, to put a little tea tree oil right there. And so tea tree oil has been really nice. I'm kind of learning what soaps to clean with. I was a dial person for a long time, which is kind of like on the same stripping agent that you would want to keep that area clean.
That's what I use too.
Yeah, and so I also have found that Dr. Bronner's is really good.
The castor oil stuff?
I use the tea tree oil.
Okay.
And
they have like 4 different ones, I think.
Yeah.
I like the peppermint one.
Yeah. And so it's good because, when you put that Dr. Bronner's on your skin,
you feel it.
Is your skin on? Is your skin off?
And then you get out, like getting out of the shower is the part that, because I'm like, why do I feel like my skin's going to be like break off my body right now?
And you like that?
No, I don't. But it smells good, and the peppermint is tingly, so I like that part. But then when I get out, I'm like, I need to put my whole body in lotion immediately.
Yeah.
Is that something that you dilute? Like, because I
You're
think
supposed to, on the bottle it says dilute.
yeah,
dilute,
but I know,
dilute,
but I be
dilute.
seeing it just in people's showers sometimes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not diluting.
I'm not
that.
gonna lie, I'm not diluting it, but I will say, like, especially since I've been using them on my problem areas where I do have HS flare-ups, it's so stripping that I don't think that it has a chance to really form in the way that it needs to. And then, most importantly, if I'm having a flare-up, cutting out alcohol. And so they say that there is a lot of, like, gluten has an effect on the body in terms of having inflammation that can cause your HS flare-ups to be worse. So cutting out the sugar, cutting out the alcohol. Because I notice if I, like, go a week and I'm drinking and I'm having fun, HS flare-ups coming up.
Yeah.
And so those are kind of some of the methods. I mean, it depends on how bad it is. It's kind of, when you're living with a chronic illness, you get so used to the pain level that it's kind of like, it's painful, but I'm like, I've had worse. So,
Yeah.
I can kind of deal with this.
And you just pray it don't get worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so really just that. I mean, I will say I haven't been to the doctor in almost a year for it.
Okay.
Just for my self-management. And I mean, honestly, know how to pack my wounds myself. I know how to take care of it. And so it's just been really trying to teach myself how to care for my body, because I do think you should seek medical attention. But I really want my relationship with my body to be comfortable, and I had to get past that feeling of kind of grossness that I would feel, because it was really keeping me from examining my body, noticing where some of the flare-ups would happen. Because what happens is you traditionally get flare-ups in the same area because the boils will create tunnels underneath the skin. And so I wanted to see and really educate myself where are the flare-ups happening, noticing like what type of underwear that I was wearing. When I really switched to 100% cotton, I noticed that I wasn't having flare-ups in particular areas. And so it's been a lot of like self-management, which comes with its own toll.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have been starting my journey this summer with like finding out what my anti-inflammatory foods are and like finding what my triggers are for HS, because since I've been on Accutane, I haven't been able to take my spironolactone or the things that were kind of, or wax, which waxing has really saved my life with HS. But now that I'm on Accutane, I can't wax because it'll literally lift all my skin off.
Wow.
So I think this year has been...
Why did you paint that visual?
That's what it will do. And even when I'm packing my wounds this year, like with my bandages and stuff, I'll take off my bandages and like my skin will just like, because Accutane thins out your skin. So like, anyway. So this year has been particularly...
I can't get over that visual. I'm sorry. I'm imagining your coochie lips being on a fucking...
Babes, and that's why I don't do it. That's why I don't do it, okay? That's why I have you shaving my coochie every month for me. Thank you. So Lex uses a... what do you call that? An electric razor?
Yeah, like a
and
clippers
that doesn't give
kinda
me
thing.
as many flare-ups, because I don't know if it's because you're not taking all the hair off or what, but it helps, so I appreciate you. But anyway, this year has been particularly tough for me with HS, and I had this come to Jesus moment from when I had my last flare-up, which was like here in the center of my thigh.
Right.
I couldn't close my legs, I couldn't move. I was just sitting on my couch like with a heating pad, with all my like my Hibiclins, and taking my 4 doses of doxycycline a day, like crying my eyes out, like how do I never have this happen again?
Right,
like,
right.
And after that I did a lot of research on YouTube and TikTok.
Right, TikTok is taking over the world. And that's why they're trying to shut it down, y'all.
Yeah.
It has really
too much
like,
information.
It's too much
readily
information.
available.
Too much information.
I mean, it's information that I have never been able to find online, and it's so refreshing. It is. I appreciate the Black women, even not just Black women. There's a lot of people on TikTok that have HS that have really taught me so much.
Right.
And I think for me, one of my biggest triggers is inflammatory foods. Like I love like greasy, fried, like
a cheeseburger.
a
is gonna give me every
cheeseburger,
day.
red meat, potatoes. What really killed me is bell peppers and chili peppers and chili
Popcorn.
powder. No, popcorn is actually, it's a safe food.
Oh, I thought you
Corn-
said you couldn't have it.
No, I can't have popcorn with like the butter and stuff.
Oh,
But like
okay.
corn, non-GMO corn is actually okay. But like white potatoes, peppers, certain vegetables even are like trigger foods. And like I think it's nightshades, that's what they're called. I've had to like try to remove those. Oof. The alcohol has been difficult.
Right.
So it's definitely a journey of like really changing your lifestyle if you do want to get off of the meds that you're taking. You know, like you said, like I'm all for the natural remedies. I just have to have the discipline to like implement it. And I'm also noticing, like, I don't know if this is for you, but around my cycle, is like, so 2 weeks out of the month, I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm eating it to win it.
Yeah.
I'm eating whatever the fuck I want. I'm drinking wine. I'm like, fuck it. It's all good in the hood. I look good down there right now. And then like a week before my period, and you could just start to feel it underneath. Before you even see a bump, you just kind of like, you put your arm down weird and you're like,
you can feel it. You can feel it.
yes.
Yeah.
It's so tough.
Right.
So when it comes to sexuality,
Yeah.
how has that gone? How have your partners reacted to you when you talk about HS, and like how do you even bring up that conversation?
You know what? Not always the best. You know, when I would first bring it up, I think that a little bit of it was my anxiety that was bringing into it. And I think that the nervousness was kind of bleeding over a little bit into their response. But, you know, they didn't react well to it. And it really affected me in a sense of, boo, fuck them
tomato.
So, yeah. So it was like, I had like a really hard time with wanting to be intimate, anybody touch my ass at all. Because I felt so ashamed. And a lot of that shame came from my childhood and seeing the reaction of my mom. And so it really carried it with me. And I think that when you are living with any disability, it does take those around you to advocate for you. And I didn't have partners at that time who were like, it's okay. Like, let's embrace this as a normal part of our relationship. And so for a long time, like, I didn't want to take off my underwear. And it was given very touch me not, and it wasn't touch me not. It was just like I was dealing with all the emotions that came with living with a chronic illness. But now I've seen so much more progression. One, I have picked better partners because I kind of feel like if you cannot have the wherewithal to learn more about my disability, you're not fucking me at all. And so now my conversation looks like, hey, I'm going to give you the basic information. Because we have TikTok, we have Google.
You can
do
your research.
Exactly. So here is what it is. You know, there are no risks for you. But this is what I expect as someone who is being sexually intimate with me or as my partner. You know, there are times where I'm not going to want to be touched in those areas because I have an active ball. And there's some times that I need you to look at it.
Yeah.
And tell me what's going on because I can't see what's going on back there.
Yeah.
And so now I just tell partners, go look it up for yourself. If you have any questions, come back to me. We can have an honest conversation about it. And I think, you know, having the maturity to pick better partners who are willing to have those conversations and also getting more comfortable with myself, you know, it has, you know, created a completely different experience where now, you know, I still do feel a little bit of shame because it's something that I still have to deal with every day. But I feel a lot more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the choosing better partners thing is necessary. And it actually really shocks me to hear that you've had like a few bad experiences.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming that these partners are like women or identify as femme of some kind. And so I just assume,
It's so odd whenever you like telling another woman or telling a woman, someone who is used to having a body like yours, and you're saying like, oh, this, and this is like what I deal with, and their immediate thing is to like shame you or make you feel bad or like kind of like brush you off or thing. That is like so insane to me. That's like seeing a girl that has like period blood on her pants and ignoring it and like being like, oh, she got it. That is like the same kind of vibe that I get. And it's like, you're not a girl's girl. You're not a girl's girl at all. What the fuck are you doing here?
No,
it doesn't make sense.
You know, it was having people like that. But you know what? I recognize like those people were kind of lacking in a certain sexual maturity. And they had their own discomforts with their bodies that they weren't even willing to be vocal about. So I think to see me have an active conversation like that, they weren't ready for it. Yeah. And, you know, people have this ideal of bodies and what skin is supposed to look like. And skin is just such a kind of hot button issue in our society of like having perfect skin, having smooth skin.
You gotta have that glass skin
exactly.
and shit.
It's currency too. And so getting in a relationship or any type of sexual type of dynamic with someone who that is their forefront, they have not done the work to really decolonize their mind because that's some white shit. That's some anti-black shit. It has its impacts.
Well, it just reminds me of like whenever I do like help you shave and the few times where you've been like, I just want to let you know, and I'm like, I don't, it's fine.
It also makes me feel better when I say that. For some reason, whenever I say like, oh, just to let you know, like this is what I have going on, it like takes the surprise away. Like I don't know why I feel like that, but because I do know that you really don't give a damn, and you've seen me in like, okay, cool, everything else is still on. Okay, I don't give a fuck. Okay, but yeah, you've like seen me in my form, so I know that you're cool with it. But just saying that sometimes just makes me feel better. Yeah. Luckily though, like I have dated quite a few people, even people I haven't dated and people I've just hooked up with, and I have never had like a really bad experience. And I've dated a lot of cis hetero men, like, and they have never given me like any kind of backlash or like shame for that. It did take me a while to like be comfortable enough to tell them like I would definitely just avoid sex, and especially like oral. Like I would love to get my coochie eaten all the time, but like I'm not always in a position to do that, and that is explaining like, if I don't tell you that I have HS, then it just seems kind of weird. Like they're like, please, like let me do this for you. Let me do this. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like I just wanna please you today. And like, no, I want my fucking pussy eaten, but I'm just not in a position to do that. But yeah, like I think having partners that accept your body for where it is so it's such a relieving thing. Like I've definitely had my partners look at my issues too. Like sometimes I'll be excited to show them. Like when it's really bad, I'm like, yo, look at this. Feel it right here. Do you feel how it like how the tunnel starts over here? Because I'm sure you've had the ones that literally burrow under your skin and it looks like a snake. Like it'll start right here and it'll just like wrap around underneath your armpits or like in your thighs. It is really like the most uncomfortable condition. And it really has given me a lot of understanding to other people that have chronic conditions, not like IBS or like rosacea, things that are very public, because when you have IBS, you have to make sure that you are in a position to always get to a restroom or whatever those symptoms are. You know, when you have rosacea, you have to explain to people what it is if they ask, or just like when you're front facing on a camera, that can be tough. So
even like psoriasis,
cold sores,
like
exactly. Yeah. Like I think HSV is a great example of that.
Exactly. I'm someone who also lives with HSV. I get cold sores, and people are so fucking ignorant that it's kind of ridiculous, you know?
Really?
Just their response. Yeah, I think that there is just still this stigma around STIs. And people also not understanding viruses in general. And so there's a lot of fear mongering about what it means when most people do live with HSV.
Most people.
You just don't actually get an outbreak.
And if you don't have HSV, you got HPV. So listen.
Exactly. And so, you know, I think, you know, living with having eczema, having a few kind of chronic illnesses that I live with that are very public facing, you know, it also, too, makes you break down your own understanding of your beauty and your value. And it's kind of made me be like, you know, fuck it. You know, I'm going to talk about this. And, you know, it is what it is. But it's also caused me to be a lot more informed just about my body and wanting someone who I'm experiencing pleasure with to have the same respect for my body, too.
Absolutely. So how has that been, if you feel comfortable sharing your experience telling your partners that you have HSV?
Oh, gosh. You know, my partner now is just so supportive, so we really don't have that. But they're also within the sexual health space. But I remember having a partner before who I had probably a flare-up within the couple months of us dating, and they were upset that I didn't tell them that I had HSV. And I think disclosure is a very touchy topic about those conversations. I think that I am responsible for my health and the health of others and making sure that I'm practicing, you know, great self-care and also care for others. But I don't have to tell you all of my business until you are granted certain access to me. And they felt very betrayed and made that moment about them. And it was in response to me saying, hey, these are the things that we can't do. I don't feel comfortable sharing utensils with you. I don't want to kiss. This is the medication that I'm on that I consistently take. This is my trigger. This is probably what caused it, me being stressed. And they were not able to receive that well. But, you know, I realize it says more about the other person. And I would just hate for anything else to happen then in our relationship. And I don't think that people realize is that, you know, you are one straw, one utensil, one kiss, one trip from living with a disability, having your own chronic illness. And so it just tells me a lot about that person. But people's responses have not been the best. And so once again, I think it's about choosing good partners, choosing partners who also care about their bodies, because it's 2024. If you don't have an understanding of cold sores or any type of health conversation about the body, that is a deficit to you and the relationships that you're going to have. And so, you know, it hasn't been the best, but then I've also had positive experiences, you know, too. And so I try to balance that out more and just realize that it's really just a not being educated.
Yeah.
To understand that.
I know I like used to work with someone whenever I was working at the sex shop, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and one of them, like, you know, again, we love sluts, but this bitch would meet someone, think they were cute, and throw the cat at them immediately. Like, immediately, no, like, let's go get tested, like, no, anything. And so she was just they were being very unsafe. And I just remember having a conversation with them one night, and they were like, yeah, so, like, the guy that I've been talking to, he just told me that he has, he has a cold sore, and they were just going off about it. And then I was like, but wait, doesn't most of the population have it? Like, couldn't you have that? And
almost 70%.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were like, I don't know, I just feel like that's something you tell a person and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I get it, especially if they're having like an outbreak. And that's what they did. They told you when they were having an outbreak, right? So why are you upset? Like, you weren't at risk before. So why are you upset now? Right. Even though they're like giving you the courtesy to tell you, hey, just to let you know, you are at risk because I am having it was just very interesting. And I was so like, okay, like, I can tell you want me to be on your side, but I'm not.
You want me to have the same reaction that you
and
did.
I don't.
Yeah.
And I was so calm about it. I was like,
But that's disclosure. I think that's why it's like important, even when I have a new sexual partner or a partner in general, I'm always having conversations about disclosure, even hypothetical disclosures, because, you know, you can't expect anyone to just share all of their health information for you to you. You're not owed that.
Right.
And it's also your obligation to want to be educated on what's happening with people sexually. And even though HSV-1 is not a sexual STI, I think that I like to talk about all viruses under that, whether it be monkeypox, COVID, right? Because we can learn a lot just in general about transmission and remaining safe when we kind of normalize these conversations and not try to fragment them into, oh, this is worse, this is better, this is what you should care about. And just having open discussions about, like, hey, people have shit going on with their bodies. And, you know, trying to stay up to date with the conversations as much as possible.
Absolutely. I think if you are a young person and you have some of these chronic conditions that we mentioned today, I think you should start practicing. Like, if you want to disclose, that's obviously you're right, but I would start practicing with like your loved ones, like your best friend or something. Like, tell them what you're going through, because all of these conditions can be very depressing. Like, I have felt very alone in my experiences, and I think that disclosing to your friends can really help. I think they can tell you, girl, you got a little spot going on down there. Maybe you should change your shirt. Or, girl, how are you feeling today? Maybe we don't need to go drink. Maybe we should just have an elixir, a kombucha today instead of going out to the wine bar.
Kombucha.
Bitch, I love kombucha.
I love kombucha.
Anytime somebody's like, I don't like kombucha, I'm like, are you a child?
All fucked up.
Right, you a child?
Exactly.
I'm
exactly.
Like, that Kivita ginger pineapple, that's my shit.
I'm obsessed. If you're looking for the kombucha deals, go to Sprouts.
Okay.
They got $2.
Oh, yeah.
Kombucha's so good. Yeah. So that just, you know, I love that you said that, because I'm like, it really is that simple. You know, it's all about community care just as much as about self-care. And I love when anyone who loves me is like, are you okay today? How are you feeling? Like, I know you had a flare-up recently. How is everything going? Or, like, I remember when I've had cold sore flare-ups, my friends are like, bye. Okay, come on, let's go, you know?
Yeah.
And so having that support, because like you said, it can feel so isolating. And once again, that's white supremacy. Is to keep you from being in community, keep you from being your authentic self. And that's what we deserve. We deserve to show up authentically and have people who will help support us in that.
Absolutely.
Community is so important. And I think that's like something I'm so focused on right now. is like assessing like how to even like have a better community with the people I even know already. Like people that I love and adore that I don't like actually like hang out with all the time. I'm like, this is like fostering relationships and community is like really, really important for me right now. So yeah, I really like that he said that.
Absolutely. It's only going to get more important too as the way this world is progressing, and I don't mean that in like a scary way. I'm just saying as they they try so hard to individualize us and like make us feel isolated so that we can conform to these standards of living. But the more I talk to my bitches, I'm like, wow, I really could just do whatever the fuck I want because they got my back. Right. Before we head out, I wanted to like really list what some of the symptoms or like what you should look out for with HS, and then maybe you can come back and again just like share some of the tips that you have for like controlling your HS. Just because like how did it take us both like years, like 5, 6, 7 years to get diagnosed with this?
It's almost 10 years.
Like seriously. So if you feel like you're having some of these, especially if you're a Black woman, here are just some of like the symptoms. So like I said, it's in your groin, in your buttocks, in your underarms, even under your breast. I actually got the first one under my breast this summer and it was brutal because you still have to wear your bras. Right. You can't stop doing that because society and shit. You know, it's not like my boobs are getting smaller, so like the sweat builds up and it makes it worse. Anyway. But they're basically these like under the skin welts. They can start off pretty small, like little hard bumps, but eventually they kind of grow and they tunnel under your skin cells and they just make this big mound of like inflammation. So there might be some like pus that eventually like they'll drain, but some of them don't have that. So you don't want to sit there and like try to pop them or push on them or touch them too much because you're really just spreading bacteria that's going to make the inflammation worse. I would say look out for smoking. Tobacco can increase your chances of experiencing HS flare-ups. Watch your gluten, apparently. That's something I'm going to start doing. Watch your alcohol intake and keep your areas clean. So, like, in the summertime, make sure you're not wearing super tight Daisy Dukes, okay? Make sure you're not wearing...
Not all the time, at least.
Yeah, not all the time, yeah. Of course, pull them out, girl, on a Saturday night.
Like, whoa.
But when you get home, make sure you take them off. Right. And you use that Dr. Bronner's until you feel like you ain't got no skin. Okay. I didn't know that cotton underwear would also help. I've been using those... you know the stretchy ones that don't have the liner?
Seamless?
The seamless?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nylon, I think?
Yeah, like whatever that material is, because I figured that like it would put less strain like on the areas of my skin, but they're not cotton. So I'm wondering if that's really even helping.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Do you have any suggestions or any symptoms that I missed?
No, I don't think any symptoms that you miss. I think that, you do want to be careful about making sure that you can identify HS because it'll prevent you from continuously being on antibiotics. Which can cause its own strain on your body. I love the idea of, like, sometimes, just let that coochie breathe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Underwear
take off
isn't
those
necessary.
pants. Yeah, sometimes when I go home, I'm just free balling just because it allows my skin to breathe. And then, just making sure that you're loving on yourself, that you're really taking care of yourself, and you are treating your body like the temple that it is in the way that it comes to you.
After I had my bad flare-up, I've talked to not only my doctor, but like my cousin who experiences a lot of inflammatory diseases, especially like IBS and like stuff with her gastro. And actually controlling your gut health will help a lot with HS because it is an inflammatory disease. So like taking turmeric, probiotics.
Oh, I take turmeric. I do take turmeric. I'm on that kombucha heavy. But I do take 2 turmerics a day. One in the morning, one at night. I think about turmeric, it can make you feel a little queasy. I take it in a pill form. So turmeric is your best friend. I mean, it's good for hair, skin, nails, everything. But yeah, turmeric.
Omega-3s. Anything that is going to reduce inflammation. So that's most oils. Turmeric, black pepper, probiotic. Just having a probiotic pill can help settle all of your gut so that it's not sending inflammation throughout your body. What else do I take? I was taking, if you're taking like supplements like ashwagandha, maca, things that raise your testosterone, that actually is not good for people that suffer with HS, because testosterone is a hormone that when it gets all built up in your body can cause extra inflammation. That's why you get acne when you have an influx of testosterone in your body. So stay away from maca, stay away from the ashwagandha. Just start looking into more of like the supplements you are taking, because some of them really can work against you in this case. But always talk to your doctors. Seek out TikTok and other people.
Honestly,
TikTok, like genuinely, TikTok has been more helpful than my doctors.
Absolutely.
And you can always Google what they say to fact check them.
Exactly.
Correct. And I also think as time goes on, HS is more prevalent. I mean, I'm sure people have always experienced HS, but now that we know what it is, there's a lot more medications available. Like they tried to put me on Cosentyx.
There's a commercial on Hulu too that
I saw the first commercial for HS and I cried.
Is it really?
Because I was like, oh my God.
And it was a black woman
was
too.
Was it Cosentyx? Because they just approved Cosentyx this year to be used for HS specifically. So I know they've been doing a lot more like ads and stuff for it.
Give it about 3 years and then try it.
Yeah, I mean, well, Cosentyx
in the first year is crazy.
Cosentyx has been out for a really long time. Okay. It's for like people with lupus, which is another autoimmune disorder.
Yeah.
So it's just now being federally approved to be used for HS.
Okay.
So like it's always been in use, but it is an injection that you have to take every month. And like when she tried to put me on that, like along with because I'm taking Accutane, so I'm actually seeking a new derm because she tried to put me on Cosentyx. It's a white doctor. I've been going to her for 15 years, but I'm on the schedule with a black doctor to see her next week. So anyway, I'm on Accutane, and that's a lot on your liver. And so then she wanted me to do an injection every month for Cosentyx to help with my HS, and I was just like, that just seems like a lot of medication in my body. Let me try to solve this on my own. Like, and maybe when I get off of Accutane in a few months, like this won't be as much of a problem because I'll be able to do the things that I used to do to help with it. But anyway, if it's really bad and it's affecting you every single month, every single week, and you're just like, I can't fucking take this shit anymore, talk to your doctor about Cosentyx. Ooh, this sounds like a commercial. Because that might help. But yeah, anyway, thank you, Robyn.
Thank you
for joining us about this really intense conversation. At least I felt like it was going to be intense, but it's actually pretty easy.
It was good. It was good.
I was just here for morale.
And you did so right.
Right.
You were so helpful. If this is your first time listening to us, go ahead and like and subscribe on our YouTube. Follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, really wherever you get your damn podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at allyourpleasures_. Robyn, where can they find you and keep up with all the crazy cool shit you do?
Follow me on TikTok. Robyn Adams, RobynBriaAdams. You can't follow me on anything else. I'm playing no.
Hey,
catch me on Instagram too. Robyn RobynB Adams with 3 S's. And so if you're ever looking for somebody to come talk about anything related to sexual reproductive health, I am that person for you. And in fact, I will be at Parkland Hospital at the Medical Center next Friday talking about all things Black queer reproductive health. And so feel free to reach out.
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Also, don't forget about our Discord. If you are wanting to just connect with us more, connect with literally people that listen to the podcast, people that don't listen to the podcast. It's really just a space that we wanted to do what we do here on the mic, but in your phone every day. So,
Yes, the link will be in the description along with Robyn's credentials.
Yeah.
Hey.
And whether you're listening to this on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, baby, we love you. Bye.
Bye.